So good morning, all. Yeah, this also I just want to discuss like scope resolution operator. Okay, so we have discussed about the scope resolution operator. So we have discussed about the scope resolution operator in which is nothing but two columns. Okay, so the main purpose of the scope resolution operator is for two purposes. One is if I want to define the member function definition outside the class, then we will use scope resolution operator. And one more way is if I want to access the global variables also, then I will use this scope resolution operator. Okay, we have discussed that scope resolution operator. Yeah, here I think, and we discussed about the operators, constants. These are all, I think you already familiar within your C language. So I just don't want to discuss that in detail. So here we have this member function definition. If you want to define at the outside, so this is Rafi mute. Yeah. So this is your scope resolution operator, in which the main purpose of the scope resolution operator is if you want to access the global variables which are defined before main section, and the second one is if you want to, yeah. So which class they belong to. If you want, what is the main purpose of this one is if you want to define the member functions outside the member function definition. If I want to write outside the class declaration, then I can say that this member function is defined belongs to that particular class. దానికోసం ఇది చేస్తాం. And the second one is if I want to access this global variables and identifying the class members to which the class belongs to. So I just want to say that this function member function belongs to that particular class. ఎలా చేస్తాను? That is nothing but return type and name of name of the class. Okay, class name, something like this, class name, scope resolution, and name of the function with parameters. Okay, this is if I want to define the member function outside the class. This is one way, the main way to use this scope resolution operator. So the main purpose of the scope resolution operator is if I want to define this member function definition outside the class, then I will use this scope resolution operator. And one more way to use this scope resolution operator is to access the global variables. So for example, if you are taking this one, this is your number which is defined before main. So that's why I can say this is a global variable. This is a global variable. And this number, so both names are same. Okay, if you observe this one, this is also number, but what is this variable? Can anyone tell?
Local variable.
Very good. Okay, local variable. So because main is also a user defined function only, within the function whatever the variables that are declared, those are called local variables, and before main ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో those are called global variables. So ఇక్కడ enter the value of something like this one, and this whenever I am saying this one, okay, whenever I am accessing with scope resolution operator, then which variable is this one?
Global.
Yeah, this is the global variable. Okay, this is the global variable. And local variable means normal number only, but whenever we want to access global variable, then you have to use this syntax like colon number. So this is your global variable. So that's why what is the value of this number? Can anyone tell?
20.
20. And what is the value of this one? Whatever you enter, user whatever entered, if he entered something 100, then that is the value of this one. Okay, clear, right? This is one of the purpose of the scope resolution operator. Whenever I want to access this global variables, okay, global variables, then I can use colon number. This is the first way. And the second one is this one. Okay, we have this class A. Inside this class A, we have a member function, void function. I just want to define this member function outside the class. So what is the syntax? First return type I have to write, and what is the name of the class? A, scope resolution operator. What is the name of the function? Function, without any parameters. I'm writing here. So that's why. So yeah, so whenever I'm writing this int main, okay, this is your int main with function and a and a dot function. So I can, whenever I want to access these member functions or variables, that cannot be possible through object. So compulsory this object has to call that particular member function by using this. First we have to create the object for the class. This is called class instantiation or object creation. Okay, this is called object creation. So ఎప్పుడైనా కానీ main whenever you are writing the object oriented programming, you have to declare the class, and if you want to define the member function, you can define inside the class or outside the class. Whenever you want to define outside the class, then you have to use scope resolution operator. And whenever you are writing the main function, the first statement within the main should be always the creation of object. Object creation అనేది ఉంటుంది. So first, but how to create the object? That is nothing but name of the class space object. You can create any number of objects. Like if you want to create more than one object, then A1, A2, A3. And if you want to call this function, you have to use this syntax. That is nothing but name of the object. This is called member access operator. Okay, whatever you are having this dot, by using dot I can access the members. So that's why this is called member access operator. Okay, this is called member access operator. Member access operator. Okay, clear, right? Alaki, clear, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, why you are using this namespace means, because if I want to include all the standard libraries that are there in the C++, then you have to use this namespace. It is exactly similar to packages you will get in the higher languages like Java and .NET and Python also. And the next topic for the today's class is, this is dynamic memory allocation using new and delete operator. Okay, is it visible?
Yes.
Right. So in the today's class, we will discuss about this dynamic memory allocation using new and delete operator. In case of C language, if you want to do this dynamic memory allocation, then you have to use this MLAC, that is nothing but memory allocation, and realloc, but is for reallocating the memory, or CLAC. Okay. So these are the three functions which are used to allocate the memory dynamically in case of C language. If you want to free the memory, then I have to use this free. Clear? I think, hope everyone is remembering these concepts, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes.
So in case of functions and its prototype, we will see that is already C language lo unnade untundi. Function prototype ante return type untundi, name of the function, parameters ఉంటాయి ante. Okay. So ikkada manaki dynamic memory allocation, if you want to do in case of C++ language, then you have to use this new and delete operators, which are also called as new and delete keywords. Okay. So dynamic memory allocation means creating the memory or allocating the memory at runtime. So for example, when we declare an array, so this you have already seen in the data structures also. The first chapter itself contains this dynamic memory allocation. So when we want to declare an array, we must provide the size of the array in the source code to allocate the memory at compile time. Like whenever I want to create array in case of C language, then you have to specify like int a comma 10. Okay. So if you specify like this, then that array will be allocated with 20 bytes of memory, which is of each one is of integer type. But if you are storing only 5 values, then those then internally it will create like this. Okay, it will create like this memory 1 2 3 4 5 like this, up to 20 bytes will be allocated. But if I am using only 2 bytes, like I am specifying like a of 0 equal to 10 comma a of 1 equal to 20, whenever I specify like this. Okay, so whenever I specify like this, then a of 0 will be containing this 10 value and this 20 value, and all the remaining will be not used. So this memory is wastage. So that's why to ఇప్పుడు నాకు 2 వేరియబుల్స్ తీసుకున్నాను అనుకోండి, then it has to allocate only 2 variables memory. If I require only 5 bytes, then it will allocate the memory only for the 5 bytes. Then that can be done by using this dynamic memory allocation. So whenever you want to allocate the memory dynamically only for the required number of elements, then that is possible through this dynamic memory allocation. So when memory needed to be allocated, you have been using MLAC and free for freeing the allocated memory in C language. In case of C language, if you want to allocate the memory dynamically, then we will use this MLAC, that is nothing but memory alloc function. And if you want to free the memory, then I will use free function. In C++, there is a more convenient way to allocate this and free the memory. In C++, you can allocate the memory using new operator or new keyword, and you can release the memory by using this delete operator or delete keyword. Okay. So, but if you need to allocate the memory at runtime, we must use the new operator followed by the data type. So compulsory you have to use new data type. Okay. If you want to allocate the memory for the more than one element, that like array, then you have to use total number of elements you have to specify in the brackets. We will see that syntax. It will return the address of the first byte of the memory. So that's why, yeah, this is your dynamic memory allocation in C++. C refers to performing memory allocation manually by programmer. in case of this C language, okay, then manually how much it has to be allocated, you have to specify. So dynamically allocated memory is allocated on the heap and non-static, and local variables get memory allocated on the stack. So whatever the variables that you are creating dynamically, you are allocating memory for the variables dynamically, then those variables will be stored on the heap, okay. But in case of non-static and local variables, whose memory will be allocated on the stack, okay, you just remember this point. Whenever you allocate the memory dynamically, those variables or arrays or anything, that data will be stored on the heap memory, okay. So in case of this one C language, we will use this MLAC, CLAC, and REALAC for allocation of the memory, and free for deleting the memory or deallocating the memory. So what is memory management? Okay, in case of C language, you have to C language or C++. This memory management will be done by using this. Um, uh, Dynamic memory management will be done by using this new and delete operator. Okay. So as we know that arrays store the homogeneous data, so most of the time memory is allocated to the array at the declaration time itself. Okay. So whenever you are declaring the array like int a of 50, then only that memory will be allocated. So sometimes the situation arises when the exact memory is not determined until runtime. So ఇప్పుడు ఇలా నేను maximum compile time లో పెడితే నేను if I just used only 5 variables, then the remaining 45 bytes of memory will be wastage. So for in some situations you want to allocate the memory only for the number of variables that are required. Okay, so whatever the variables that are required, only for those variables you will allocate the memory. So to avoid that situation, we declare an array with a maximum size, but some memory will be unused. To avoid this wastage of this memory, we have to use this new operator. Okay, new operator for allocating the memory dynamically at runtime. So C uses MLAC and CLAC function to allocate the memory dynamically at runtime, and uses free function to dynamically delete the allocated memory. And realloc means already allocate చేసిన దానికి ఇంకా మనకి సరిపోలేదు అనుకోండి, then you will use realloc function. But in case of C++ supports, these functions are and also has two operators, that is new and delete operator, that perform the task of allocating and freeing the memory in a better way and easier way. So what is this new operator? Okay, hope everyone is following, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is new operator which is used to allocate the memory. So the new operator denotes a request for memory allocation on the free store. If sufficient memory is available, new operator initializes the memory and returns the address of the newly allocated or initialized memory to the pointer variable. So always you have to use pointers for allocating the memory. Okay, so pointer, first you will create pointer which is assigned with null value, and after that one you have to create the memory. You can allocate the memory by using this p. Okay, so even if you are in the MLAC or CLAC also, you have to use pointer variables only. Okay, in case of MLAC CLAC also, you will be using only pointer variables. In the same manner, whenever you are using this memory, whenever you are allocating this memory dynamically, then if you want to use this new, you have to specify new and data type. So that's why you can write like, if I want to allocate the memory for any variable, then you have to create a pointer variable which is nothing but new int, so that this memory will be allocated dynamically for this p variable. That memory of 2 bytes, okay, 2 bytes will be allocated dynamically. That is one thing. And yeah, so if you want to specify the, if you want to initialize the value also, okay, of initialize the memory, we can also initialize the memory using new operator. So for this one, this is nothing but p is a variable new int of 25. Okay, so this is p is the pointer variable which is used to allocate the memory dynamically, and also it will be containing this value 25. That is one thing. And float is a star q new float. So the main purpose of this one is the memory will be allocated at the runtime. It won't be allocated at the compile time. So if you want to allocate more memory, okay, or group of memory or block of memory for an array, then new operator is used to allocate the block of array of data type. So the, for that one, new data types of size. Okay, so this is this one int star p new int of. If you want to allocate memory for 5 variables, then I will use this new int of size. Generally we won't specify that one, okay, because again if I specify size means that is nothing but you generally define like by like this, like new int of this one. Okay, so this is nothing but But only the point you have to remember is whenever I want to use new and delete operator, then I have to use only pointer variables. So this is one. What is the syntax for new operator? That is nothing but ptr equal to new data type. This is for allocating the memory for only single element. Okay. So if you want to allocate the int star ptr, you will mention like this, and after that one ptr equal to new data type. So ptr equal to new int. This is for allocating the memory one only for the one variable. But if you want to allocate the memory for more than one variable for array, then you have to use this syntax. If you want to allocate memory dynamically for an object, then this one. This is the syntax. So the same thing discussed. Here type is nothing but what is the data type of this one. Okay. If you want to allocate dynamically for the object, okay. If you want to allocate the memory for the dynamically for the object, okay. Like you are creating the class like class A. This is your class A, and inside this void main I am creating the object. Okay, so like A, if I want to allocate the memory for this object dynamically, then how can I do is A star o1 or object equal to new A. Okay, this is the syntax for allocating the memory for a object dynamically. Clear? All of you clear, right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Sir.
if you want to allocate if you want to create a single object, then I can use o1. But if you want to allocate the memory dynamically for this one, then you can create a pointer variable equal to new A. So what is the main difference between these two is we will create a object and the memory will be allocated at the compile time itself, but here the memory will be allocated at the runtime. So that's it. That is the main difference. Dynamically like allocating the memory. And delete operator, the exactly whatever the opposite to new operator. New operator is used to allocate the memory dynamically or runtime. In the same manner, whatever the memory that is allocated dynamically, if you want to deallocate, then we will use this delete operator. So delete operator is used to deallocate the memory created by the new operator at runtime. So once the memory is no longer needed, it should be freed so that memory becomes available again for other request of dynamic memory. So this is very important. So once that usage of the particular variable is over, then you have to deallocate the memory. If you didn't deallocate the memory, then that memory will be wasted, so that no one can be using that particular memory. Already akkada data undi ankoni aa memory location anedi use cheyadu. So that's why whatever the memory that you have already allocated by using this new operator, then you have to deallocate that particular memory by using this delete operator. So just the syntax is just if you created the object like int star ptr equal to new int like this. If you want to delete that particular memory location, then you just use delete ptr. That's it. Okay. If you are creating a array, then int star ptr equal to new int of so 10 or something, new int like this. If you mention like this one, if you want to deallocate the memory for the array, delete array ptr in this manner. Okay, clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
If you want to
Yes, sir.
allocate the memory for the single variable, then this is the syntax: int star ptr equal to new int, so that this memory will be allocated dynamically for ptr. This memory will be allocated dynamically. But if you want to allocate the memory dynamically for the array, then this is the syntax. If you want to deallocate the memory that is allocated for a single variable, then you have to use delete ptr. If you want to deallocate the memory that is allocated for the array, then you have to use this syntax: delete array ptr. Okay. So that is if you want to deallocate the memory for the object, like we have a class A, and for this class A, I created the object A star ptr equal to new A. If you want to delete this particular ptr, just click on just delete ptr. That's it. Okay, clear? All of you clear, right?
Yes.
Yes,
So
sir.
this is this one.
Sir, sir.
Yeah, delete releases the memory when it is no longer needed. So what is the main purpose of delete operator is to deallocate the memory that was allocated by the new operator. Delete can call it only with a pointer previously allocated with the new. So if you call delete within an invalid operator, the allocation system will be destroyed, so possibly crashing your program. So if the memory is already allocated by the new operator, then only you can use this delete operator. You just keep that in mind. Okay. So the main purpose of the delete is used to release the memory that was allocated by the new operator. So delete can be called only with a pointer previously allocated with the new operator. So if you call delete with an invalid pointer, then the allocation system will be destroyed, possibly crashing your program also. So what for whichever the variable that you allocate the memory dynamically by using delete new operator, only that memory allocation will be deallocated by using the delete operator. So always new will be delete will be used along with the new operator. So both you have to use combinedly. Whenever you want to allocate the memory dynamically, then you will use new operator. Whenever you want to deallocate the memory, then you will use delete operator. So delete operator, it is a since programmer's responsibility to allocate the dynamically allocated memory. Programmers are provided delete operator by the C++ language. This is very important. So in case of delete operator, the programmer has to deallocate the memory by using delete operator. But in case of Java language or .NET language or Python programming language, no need of this delete operator. That will be taken care by a special mechanism called garbage collector. So garbage collector, I think you have in the .NET, right? This concept,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes.
What is this garbage means? Nothing but wastage. Okay, whatever the unused variables kani, unused arrays kani, array variables kani, unused objects kani, unused ఏదైనా ఉన్నప్పుడు వాటి యొక్క మెమరీని కలెక్ట్ చేసుకొని that will be deallocated so that it will be free for the next programs. That is nothing but garbage collection. Okay, so in case of C++, that the user has to do manually deallocate the memory, that is by using this delete operator. C++ language లో మాన్యువల్ గా ఆ యూజర్ అనే వాళ్ళే డిలీట్ అనే ఆపరేటర్ ద్వారా మెమరీని డిఅలొకేట్ చేయాలి. బట్ ఇన్ కేస్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ జావా ఆర్ పైథాన్ ఆర్ .NET ఆర్ ఎనీ అదర్ హై లెవెల్ లాంగ్వేజెస్ దట్ ఆర్ దేర్ ఇన్ ద కరెంట్ ఇండస్ట్రీ, there you have a special mechanism called garbage collector which will collect the which will free the unused memory. The user అనేవాడు మాన్యువల్ గా చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. There is a special mechanism that is there in the IDE itself or integrated development environment or within the compiler itself, that which will take care of. There is a special mechanism for garbage collector which the main function of this garbage collector is used to free the unused memory, like unused variables aina lebothe unused array variables aina, unused strings variables aina, unused anything that is related to memory, those will be deallocated by using this garbage collector. Okay, if there is insufficient memory to fill an allocation request, one of the two actions will occur. ఒకవేళ మనము ఒక పర్టికులర్ రిక్వెస్ట్ వచ్చింది, మెమరీ రిక్వెస్ట్ లైక్ వేరియబుల్ కి ఒక 2 bytes అలొకేట్ చేయాలి అని వచ్చింది, బట్ దట్ ఈస్ ఇన్సఫిషియెంట్ మెమరీ వచ్చినప్పుడు ఐదర్ ఇట్ విల్ రిటర్న్ ఏ నల్ పాయింటర్ ఆర్ ఇట్ విల్ జనరేట్ అన్ ఎక్సెప్షన్. ఓకే, సో అక్కడ మెమరీ కనుక సరిపోయి ఆల్రెడీ అది మొత్తం ఫుల్ అయిపోయింది అండ్ అగైన్ ఐ try to request for allocating the memory for the variable, then it has to give and it has to that concept. Okay, insufficient memory will be allotted by using this that request will be allocated by using if a null pointer will be returned, or it will generate an exception called memory full. Okay, memory full exception. Okay, in standard C++, the default behavior of new is to generate an exception. Okay, so most of the cases, if the memory is full, then automatically it will generate an exception called memory full, then you have to free that particular memory. So if the exception is not handled by your program will be terminated. So all the new and delete perform actions similar to malloc and free, they have several advantages. First, new automatically allocates enough memory to hold an object of the specified type. You do not need to use size of. So in case of malloc, compulsory you have to use the size of, right? Int star malloc size of int, antena syntax.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so if you want to allocate the memory for the dynamically, then for an array, then you have to use this syntax. Okay, int a of something like this one. If you specify, if you want to allocate the memory, then int star malloc size of int. Okay, then this you have to specify. So here in case of malloc, you have to use this size of operator, but in case of new, there is no need of size of. That is one of the advantage. Second, new automatically returns a pointer of the specified type. You do not to use to explicitly typecast. దీన్ని typecast చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. int a1 ఉంది, next int star ptr. So always you have to use ptr only. ptr, this is pointer. So always new automatically returns a pointer of the specified type. So నేను ఇప్పుడు ఎప్పుడైతే నేను int star ptr equal to new int అని ఇస్తానో, automatically it has to be converted. Okay, it has to be converted directly, but in case of this one, you have to use this explicit typecasting use చేయాలి, that is int star. Third, both new and delete operator can be overloaded, enabling you to easily implement your own custom allocation system. So fourth, it is possible to initialize a dynamically allocated object. Okay, these are the advantages. So if you want to release the memory that is allocated for the pointer variable, then you have to use this delete variable. Here pointer variable is the pointer that points to the data object created by the new. Okay, delete p or delete q like this. If you want to deallocate the memory for the block of memory like array, then delete array operator we will use. That's it. Okay. So what are the advantages of new operator? It does not use size of operator, as it automatically computes the size of the data object. It automatically returns the correct data point pointer, so it does not require any typecasting. In case of MLR, compulsory size of operator is required and the typecasting should be done. Like other operators, the new and delete operator can also be overloaded. It also allows you to initialize the data object while creating the memory space for the object. So these are the advantages. And we will see one of the example program using new and delete operator. Okay. So
Then how
yeah. Hello.
to reallocate data?
Yeah, deallocating the memory. That's it. Automatically, the data will be deallocated. Whenever you deallocated the memory. Yeah.
RE.
I didn't get you. Hello.
Reallocate. Sir.
Yeah, reallocate అంటే మళ్ళీ ఆ న్యూ అనే మెమరీకి ఇప్పుడు నేను ఆల్రెడీ ఇంట్ స్టార్ ptr అని ప్లేస్ చేశాను. మళ్ళీ న్యూ తోటే ఇక్కడ రీఅలొకేషన్ చేయడానికి న్యూ తోటే. సో ptr, yeah, I will take an array. So int a, okay, yeah, okay. So now if you want to allocate the memory, like int star ptr equal to new int of first I don't specify. Then after that one again I want to allocate the memory. Int star ptr equal to new int of 5. If you want to reallocate to 10, then int star ptr equal to new int of 10. Okay, clear?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So we will see one example program like C++ program to use this new and delete operator. Just wait. So yeah, I am creating a hash include std_h not required. So using namespace int main, here int size comma I. Okay, so these two I specified, and int star ptr, this is the pointer variable, and cout enter size of the array. So I just want to take the size of the array, so cin size. So if you want to create the memory at runtime and return the first byte address of the pointer, then I will use ptr equal to new int of size. And after this one, if you want to deallocate the if you want to, yeah, so just, yeah, if you want to first I created this size I. Okay, I is nothing but for loop kosam manam we will use, and this ptr which is used to allocate the memory dynamically. So that's why ptr equal to new int of size. So size I entered at the runtime. So what is the size of the array? So if I enter size of the array as 10, okay, so 10. So p equal to new int of 10 and 10 bytes of memory will be allocated. Okay, so ఇక్కడ ఏంటిదంటే ఇక్కడ I equal to I less than size అని పెట్టాలి. Okay, I less than size, so that enter any number. So I will take the array elements and ఇక్కడ also size. Okay, so that only whatever the size is required, those only that memory will be allocated. So here if I require 5 bytes of memory, then only 5 bytes will be allocated. And after this one I will take the data from the keyboard, and after that one I will display the data, and later I will delete the memory that is allocated dynamically. Okay, clear? All of you clear, right? So I will take I will save the program like dynamic.cpp. Once I save this program, you will get this dynamic.cpp. This is a simple program in which what I have did, this is size I took, and pointer is a variable. So if you want to allocate the memory, compulsory you have to use using new operator or delete operator. If you want to allocate the memory using new operator, or if you want to deallocate the memory using delete operator, compulsory you have to use this pointer variables. Okay, pointer variables create channel. So now I will go to this execute. I think 1 minute. So hope the screen is visible, right? Yeah. Huh? Visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is a simple program in which we have taken the size of the array, and after this one we have created this pointer variable which is used to allocate the memory dynamically by using new operator. It's the same thing if you are doing in the C language, then you will mention like ptr equal to, you have to mention like int star, okay, int star mlac ikkada n into, so size into size of int, okay. So how many variables you want to create, those variables you have to specify in the here, okay. So that is nothing but here that memory will be allocated dynamically, but in the same manner this is very simple in case of C++, like you just use this new operator, so new int of size, so that whatever the array size is there, that size will be allocated, and after that one I am entering the values into that particular, and I am I am just displaying those values, and after that one whatever the memory that was allocated to the pointer variable, like if it is 10 bytes means 10 bytes will be allocated, or 10 in 20 bytes means 20 bytes will be deallocated, okay. So now I will go to this execute and I will click on run. Yeah, first you have to compile, okay. So after this compilation, first I will compile. I'm getting some errors like 1 minute. What is that error? I will save. Return 0 is mentioned, okay. I will click on execute compile. Stray /240 in program. Cn size, cout enter array size, int star ptr.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, now I will compile this program. What is this? Cout ptri for I equal 0, I less than size, I plus plus cout ptri. Okay. Hope the screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So just I didn't do anything. Maybe I think some errors will be there. Yeah, no problem. So here what I have done, just I am entering the size of the array, and after that one I am creating the allocating the memory dynamically by using this new operator. This is very important. Okay, I am allocating the memory dynamically by using this new operator, and I am taking the array values. I am just entering the array values by using this cout and cn. I am taking the entering the values, and after that one by using this cout I am just displaying the values, and after that one whatever the memory that is allocated dynamically, that I am deallocating by using the, so here creating the memory at runtime and returning the first byte of the address of the pointer, and deallocating all the memory created by the new operator by using delete operator. So I will save this program and I will try to execute compilation. So compilation, no errors, okay. And after that one I will go for the execution. So enter what is the size of the array, okay. Ikkada slash and slash t undi. I think everyone is observing, right?
Yes, sir.
Slash and slash t ఉంది కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ slash n అంటే న్యూ లైన్, తర్వాత slash t అంటే ఒక ట్యాబ్ స్పేస్ ఉంది. Enter the size of the array 5. Now enter any number, like first I will enter 12 and 13, 14, 15 and 16. So now those will be displayed. That's it. Okay, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. After that was done, then the memory will be deallocated by using this delete operator. Clear? All of you clear, right?
సార్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ లో కామా పెడితే కూడా రావాలి కదా సార్?
రావాలి, వస్తుంది. ఇక్కడ జస్ట్ కామా పెట్టండి. ఓకే, I will mention it as comma. I will mention comma. So ikkada naaku slash and slash t avasaram ledhu, just I will use this one. So I will compile this program. After compilation I will just go for this run. Okay, enter the size of the array. I will enter 3, 12, 13, 14. Okay, it is getting comma, right? 12, 13, 14. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Till now we have discussed about this one, that is a pointer variable. So if I want to allocate the memory for the dynamically for a array, then I have to use this syntax by using new, and I have to specify the data type and what is the size. If you want to create a single variable, then ptr equal to new int, that is sufficient. Okay, if you want to allocate the memory only for a single variable, but if you want to allocate the memory for an array, then you have to specify new int of size. Okay, so this is for single variable and this is for array. Okay, so whatever the memory that you want to allocate it dynamically, that you want to delete means you have to specify like this. But if you want to allocate the memory dynamically for a class, okay, for a class, if you want to allocate the memory dynamically for a class, then you have to use this syntax, that is hash include iostream using namespace std, and class is, what is the name of the class? Sample, something sample, int ij, and public I am taking two member functions, and I am defining the member functions inside the class itself. So this is nothing but I am taking a member function set ij, which is taking int a comma int b are the parameters, and I am setting the I value to a and j value to b. Okay, so 1 minute. So now I'm taking this one. Yeah, so this is your int yeah, it has in the public section. Okay, always within the class, this member function, data member should be in the private section. If you didn't specify anything, that is by default private, and the member function member functions gaani, member function definition gaani, declaration compulsory you have to write in the public section. This is the fundamental rule. So that's why here I am taking two member functions. First one is the set ij, which is used to set the values to ij, and get product, which is used to return the product of these two numbers. Okay, so product of this two. So it has two member functions. One is set ij, which is used to set the values of that particular ij values ni set cheyadamu. Next, get product is used to display the output. Okay, so this is your class. So if you want to give this one, then this is your class sample, and it has two data members, and within the public section you have two member functions, and the member function definition also I am writing inside the class itself. If you want to write outside, then you have to use this scope resolution operator. నేను లోపలనే రాశాను, ఒక సెట్ ఐజే అనే ఒక ఫంక్షన్ int a comma int b. సో ద I వాల్యూ ఐకి ఏకి సెట్ చేస్తుంది, j అనేది b కి సెట్ చేస్తుంది, అండ్ get product. Okay, so get product, yeah, get product is nothing but it is returning the multiplication of these two numbers. So now within the int main section, I want to create the object for this particular class. Okay, I don't want to create the object, I just want to create the pointer. I want to allocate the memory. So if I want to create a object, so normal ga ela create chestarante, always within the main function, whenever you have this class, always within the main function the first statement should be a object creation. So if you want to create a object for the normal class, then s1 s2 s3. So these are the, like this you can create. So that is sample is the name of the class, and these are the three objects of this sample class. But if you want to allocate the memory for this class dynamically, then you have to create the pointer variable. So that's why sam star ptr or sum star p, and after that one, if you want to allocate the memory dynamically, then q equal to new, and what is the data type? Sample. So allocate memory to object dynamically. Okay, so the main advantage of this one is this one. Okay, so allocate memory to object dynamically. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
సో నార్మల్ గా మీరు ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఎలా క్రియేట్ చేస్తారంటే ఇలా క్రియేట్ చేసినప్పుడు మెమరీ విల్ బి అలొకేటెడ్ ఫర్ దీస్ వేరియబుల్స్ స్టాటికల్లీ, దట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ కంపైల్ టైమ్ ఇట్సెల్ఫ్. బట్ ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు అలొకేట్ ద మెమరీ డైనమికల్లీ, దెన్ you can allocate the memory to this variable during runtime by using this new operator. That's it. But always whenever you want to allocate the memory for the variables dynamically by using new and delete operator, those variables should be declared as pointer variables. That is the main thing. And if not p, this is just if memory is not allocated, then it will give error, like cout allocation, memory allocation error. Okay, so this is like memory allocation error, and it will return 1. So it will return 1 to this main. If I want to already memory is allocated, but I think in case of structures also you can create pointers, right? Yeah, even if you are taking this like 1 minute, I will share. Is the whiteboard is visible? Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah, in case of structures, I can create struct. Yeah, if you are taking this what is the example, best example, like you already know about this data structures, right? In case of data structures, struct something student, yeah, int roll number, okay, like this one, and character name. So after this one, okay, in case of void main, I just want to create a structure variable, pointer variable create cheyalante ela create chestanu, struct stud star S1 ante kada.
Yes, sir.
If you want to create a structure ki oka pointer variable create cheyalante struct stud star S1. So now if you want to get the data of roll number, then what is the syntax? Can anyone tell? Percentile D
Scan percentile D, but
S1
S1 dot roll number.
data arrow operator. Arrow, because whenever you are creating the pointer variables, compulsory you have to access these members using pointers. If you created normal structure variable, then scanf percentile D ampersand S1 dot roll number. Is that clear, right? These points you know already know, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is a normal structure variable. You can access these members by using this dot operator. That's why in case of structure also this is member access operator. So that's why if you know the structure concept, then there is not that much difference between structure and class. Only difference is in case of structures, we don't have member functions inside the class, inside the structure. But in case of C++ class, we have member function. That's it. But everything is common. Like if you want to, you can create the structure pointers also you can create, and structure variables also you create. Whenever you want to access the structure data by using the structure variables, then you have to use this structure variable dot what is the member name. Okay, that is nothing but that's why this is called member access operator. But in case of pointer, you have to use this arrow. In the same manner, yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, is the screen is visible? Dev C++.
yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Right. So in case of this one, yeah, in case of this one, yeah, so what is this one? This is your this is normal way to create the objects, but here I am creating the pointer variable sample star p, and now the memory is allocated dynamically by using p equal to new sample. And if the memory is not allocated, then I will give the error like memory allocation error. And otherwise, once the memory is allocated, then I can call by using this set ij. Okay, by using this p, I want to allocate, I want to call this member function set ij. So normal ga aithe nenu em chestanu p dot and కాల్ చేసేవాడిని ఆబ్జెక్ట్ కాబట్టి ఆబ్జెక్ట్ తోటి అయితే. బట్ ఇక్కడ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎ పాయింటర్ వేరియబుల్ కాబట్టి arrow ఆపరేటర్ యూజ్ చేశాను. సెట్ ఐజేకి నేను 4 5 వాల్యూస్ పంపిస్తున్నాను. సో దట్స్ వై whenever I send this 4 5 values, then a will be allocated with 4 and b will be allocated with 5, so that I will be 4 and j will be 5. And after that one, I'm calling this product is means p to get product, so that 4 into 5, that is 20, will be displayed. And once the memory is whatever the memory that is allocated by using this new operator, that you have to deallocate by using delete operator. So I am just clicking on delete star delete p here. Okay, yeah, someone asked if not p means p not equal to null. Is that is it's correct? Okay, so p not equal to null. Okay, so the same thing. Okay, so not p is nothing but if p equal to null, then it will give error. Okay, if p not equal to null. Okay, the same thing. This is the same manner. So if p not, yeah, don't all of you mute. Okay, so if p not equal to null, then this is exactly similar. If this, no need to write also this one, this statement is not required. But whenever you just want to know whether the memory is allocated or not, if the memory is not allocated, like in most of the situations it won't happen, because if the memory is not available, then only that memory will not be allocated. But here the memory will be allocated, so that's why you won't get this error. Now only thing that point you have to remember is whenever you created the pointer objects, so for the pointers you can allocate the memory dynamically by using this new operator. And these are called pointer objects. Okay, so in the normal case we can call it as objects, but it is a pointer, so that's why you can call it is a pointer object. So if you want to allocate the memory dynamically for the pointer objects, then you have to use this new and name of the class. And if you want to deallocate the memory, delete star p. Okay, so now I will save this program. I can call it as class pointer. Okay, class pointer .cpp. I will save like this. And after this one, okay, so now I will try to compile this program. Yeah, I think spaces are not accepting. Okay. So I will compile this program. Hope the screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
It is giving errors, warning, zeros. Now I will execute this program. I will click on run. So it is directly displaying what? Yeah.
20, sir.
Product
Yeah,
is
product is
20.
20. Okay. So
20.
directly it is displaying product is 20 because that memory is allocated dynamically by using this sample star p. And after this one, I'm calling this with p. I'm calling normal. This I can call in another way also. That is what is that one is star p dot set underscore ij. Okay, this is also possible. Okay, 5 comma 6. Okay, I will show this one. You can call in this manner, or otherwise you can call this member access operator in this manner. Okay, clear? I have to end with symbol. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Useful? So you can call this member function whenever you create the pointer object. Then you can access this member functions by using p arrow set ij45, or otherwise you can call by using this star p. Okay, star p dot. Okay, normal గా నేను ఒక ఆబ్జెక్ట్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తే p అని క్రియేట్ చేస్తే డైరెక్ట్ గా p డాట్ అని, బట్ వెనెవర్ యూ క్రియేట్ ద పాయింటర్ వేరియబుల్ దెన్ స్టార్ p అని చెప్పేసి ఆ డాట్ అని చేయొచ్చు, లేకపోతే p అని చెప్పేసి ఆరో బార్. సో దట్స్ వై ప్రొడక్ట్ అనే దాన్ని ఏమో ఆరో తోటి చేశాను. నెక్స్ట్ దిస్ వన్ set ij అనే దాన్ని star p dot. So now also I can run this program. So yeah, it is getting 20 only. So I have to first compile this program. I will compile. After compilation, I will click on run. So now you got right. 5 into 6 is 30. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Clear, right? So this is the two programs that we have discussed for dynamic memory allocation. I can allocate the memory for dynamically for the arrays by using this one new size of new int of size, and after this one you can deallocate by using delete. But whenever you are using arrays, compulsory you have to use this brackets. Okay, so if you want to allocate the memory dynamically for more than one variable, then you have to mention the size of that particular, how many elements you want to allocate the memory. And if you want to delete, then you have to use this delete arrow. Okay, and whenever you want to allocate the memory for the class variables, then you have to use this class. For the class, you don't create the object directly, you have to create the pointer variable, and you can allocate the memory by using this one. You can write this in a single statement also. How can you write? That is nothing but sample star s equal to new sam. That's it. Okay, clear? All of you clear, right?
Yes, sir.
This one. Okay, and after this one, memory is allocated. Once the memory is allocated, then you can call by using the star p dot and call cheyochu, లేదా p arrow అని call cheyochu, member access. Okay, and once that everything is over, then you have to deallocate the memory by using delete p. Okay, all of you clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now I am going to this one. Yeah, this is new operator and delete dynamic memory allocation. This we have seen. Okay, can I go to the next topic? Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir.
Right. So till now we discussed about new operator and delete operator, which are used to allocate memory dynamically and deallocate the memory dynamically by using this new and delete operator. In case of C language, MLX, CLX, here we are using this new and delete operator. So this is very simple. Just if you want to allocate the memory, for always you have to allocate the memory only through pointers. So that's why if you want to allocate the memory for a single pointer, then you will use int. Yeah. So I think here you have to use new int, and after this one you have to delete pointer, delete ptr. And if you want to allocate the memory for more than one variable, then you have to use int star ptr only. That, but ptr equal to new int of size you have to mention. Here you have to mention the size. And if you want to deallocate the memory, then you have to use delete ptr. Okay, this is for single variable if you want to allocate the memory dynamically, and if you want to deallocate the memory. And this is for array. And if you want to allocate and memory deallocate memory for the class variables, then whatever the class a that is there already. Okay, for this one, if you want to create the pointer variable, then a star obj equal to new a. This is the syntax to allocate the memory for the dynamically for the class object. And once that is done, if you want to deallocate, then you have to use delete obj. Is that clear?
Yes,
Clear,
sir.
right? Yeah. So this is about dynamic memory allocation by using new and delete operator. Now I am going to the next topic. So yeah, what is this one is functions and its prototype, right? This is very simple topic. Okay, so you already know about this, what is functions, how to create the functions in case of C language or C that you already know. So C++ lo kuda, what is function? It is a group of statements which are used to perform a specific task. Okay. So what is the definition for a function? All of you mute. Yeah. So what is the definition for a function? It is a group of statements. 251. Yeah. So it is a group of statements in a which are used to perform a specific task. So this is the definition for a function. Okay. A group of if I want to do addition, then I will write a separate function which will contain a group of statements which are used to perform only addition. If I want to perform subtraction, then I will write a subtraction function which will perform only subtraction between two numbers. So along with the main function, a program can have multiple functions which are used for specific operation. So what is the main purpose of the function? I want to perform a specific task. Then I will club all those statements and I will put in a function so that I can call that particular function any time. Okay. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఒక యాడ్ అనే ఫంక్షన్ కాల్ చేశాను. నేను ఎప్పుడైనా కానీ ఎడిషన్ చేయాలంటే జస్ట్ ఐ విల్ కాల్ దిస్ యాడ్ ఫంక్షన్. So that is the advantage of these functions. If I want to perform subtraction, so just write that code only once within the function so that I can use that particular function. I can call that particular function whenever necessary. So that's the advantage. If you are doing, if you want to perform if you want to perform some like cos of two numbers or otherwise power, if you want to perform power of two numbers, then there is a predefined function that is there in the math. So the math.h అనే header file లో నాకు already power అనే function ఉంది. So that no need to write power function anytime. So direct గా power అనే function ని కాల్ చేస్తే నేను ఆటోమేటిక్ యూజ్ చేయొచ్చు. ఆ కాన్సెప్టే ఫంక్షన్స్ అన్నమాట. ఓకే. సో ఫంక్షన్స్ ఆర్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఏ గ్రూప్ ఆఫ్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ విచ్ ఆర్ క్లబ్డ్ ఇంటూ ఏ సింగిల్ యూనిట్. The main purpose of the function is used to perform a specific task. So it can have multiple functions that are each one is used for specific operation. The results of function can be used throughout the program without concern about the process and the mechanism of the function. In procedure oriented programming language like C language, programs are divided into different functions, but in object oriented programming the program is divided into objects where functions are components of objects. Okay, you understand the difference, right? All of you, is this point is clear? So in case of procedure oriented programming, everything is procedure, like everything is a procedure or function. Okay, the entire program can be divided into functions. But in case of object oriented programming, everything is divided into objects, but within the objects I have both data members and member functions. Okay, so functions in C++ language has three parts. One is function prototype, function definition, function call. Even in C language also we will have function prototype. Okay, this function prototype is also called as function signature అని అంటారు. Function signature or function declaration. Okay, so this function prototype is also called as function signature or function declaration. And function definition, you will write the definition of the function. And function calling, okay, I am calling the function, that is function call. So the function prototype serves the following purposes. It tells the return type. Okay, so what is function prototype? First we will have return type, and what is the name of the function, function name, and how many parameters it will take. So how many parameters it will take, and it is ended with semicolon. This is called function prototype or function declaration or function. Yeah, what is another name? Function signature. So it tells the return type of the data that the function will return. What is the return type that it will return? It tells the number of arguments passed to the function, how many number of parameters or number of arguments that are passed to the function. It tells the data types of each of the passed parameters. So here I will mention. Okay, so by example for this one is int add of int comma int, so that it will tell what is the return type that function will return. This add is a function which will return integer as the return type, and it tells how many number of arguments are function. There are two arguments that are passed to the function, and what is the data type of each of the passed argument. The first argument is also integer type and second also integer arguments. It tells the order in which the arguments are passed to the function. If I mention int comma float, then the order is like the first one is the integer variable and second one is the float variable. Okay, is that clear? All of you
Yes,
clear,
sir.
right? So these are already over. In case of C language only you know about function prototype. So function prototype specifies the input output interface. Here you have to get interface to the function. what to give to the function and what to expect from the function. So the main purpose of this one, what to give, it is a function which is taking both integer and float as a parameter and which will also return integer value. So prototype of the function is called signature of the function or declaration of the function. So function prototype, while writing a program, we cannot use a function without specifying its type or without telling the compiler about it. So before calling the function, we must either declare or define the function. So before calling that particular function, compulsory you have to declare that particular function and you have to define that particular function. So declaration jayali, function definition jayali, so that you can call. Okay. So thus declaring the function before calling a function is called function declaration or function prototype, which tells the compiler that some point of the program we will use the function of the name specified in the prototype. So what is the syntax? That is return type and function name and parameter list, and it is ended with semicolon. So function prototype or function signature or function declaration always end with a semicolon, and the return type is nothing but what is the type of the value that the function will return. It can be int, float, or any user defined data type. And function name is nothing but name of the function. However, it must be resemble any standard keyword. It should not resemble. And a function name అనేది మీరు ఒక keyword ని పెట్టుకోవద్దు. Next, parameter list is nothing but what are the number of parameters that can be passed to the function. So that is about function declaration or function prototype. And function call means calling the function. Okay, when the program encounters the function call, then it has to go to the function definition. So that's why function name argument list. So if I am writing like this is the declare function prototype, like int add of int comma int, this is the function declaration or function prototype or function signature. And what is calling the function? Add 10 comma 20. Clear? Are we clear?
Yes.
So this is
Yes.
function calling. Okay, this is called function call, and this is called function declaration. I am declaring the function, but the structure ఏంటిదో చెప్తున్నాను. అంటే ఇది ఇంటీజర్ అనే వాల్యూని రిటర్న్ చేస్తుంది, నేమ్ ఆఫ్ ద ఫంక్షన్ యాడ్, అండ్ ఇట్ విల్ టేక్ 2 parameters of int and int, and this parameter is first is also integer, second is also integer. So that is the advantage of function prototype, which is used to specify the structure of the function. What is the return type it is going to return, what is the name of the function, what are the how many parameters it will take, and what are the data types of the parameters, and what is the order of the parameters. ఇవన్నీ కూడా function prototype or function declaration లో తెలుస్తుంది. And calling the function అంటే just when the program encounters calling function చేయాలంటే కంపల్సరీ మనకి function prototype ఉండాలి, function definition ఉండాలి. And whenever I am calling the function, then automatically it will go to the function definition. And whenever you are calling this particular function, you will just specify the name of the function and the arguments list. And whatever the arguments that are there within the function calling statements, these are called what? What arguments? Anyone tell?
Actual parameters.
Actual parameters. Actual parameters are actual arguments. Very good. Okay. Actual parameters. So here function name is the name of the function, called function, name of the called function, and argument list is the comma separated list of expressions that constitute the arguments. That is, syntax is similar to that of the prototype, except that return type is not used. ఇక్కడ సేమ్ prototype లాగానే ఉంటుంది, but only return type అనేది అవసరం లేదు, కాల్ చేస్తాం. And function definition is nothing but we will define the operation. ఆ ఫంక్షన్ అనేది ఏం చేయాలనుకుంటుంది, దానికి సంబంధించిన లాజిక్ మొత్తం we will write inside the function definition. It is same as that of the function declaration only, but only thing is function body రాస్తాను. So return type and name of the function and the parameters list and the function body, and whatever the parameters that are there in the function definition, those are called anyone?
Formal parameters.
Formal parameters. These are not actual parameters, duplicates. Okay, that's why these are called formal parameters, and these are the actual parameters that I am sending whenever I am calling the function. That's why these are called actual parameters. So how you will write the definition for this class? So first declaration like int add of int comma int, this is the function declaration, and after this one function definition int add of, ikkada meer compulsory variables rastaru, int a comma int b, and I will write the logic like return a plus b. This is the logic that is used to perform this particular task. And within the void main section or int main section, I will call the function like add of 10 comma 20. Clear? All of you clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this you have already know about in the C language itself. Just I am revising. That is, these are nothing but function prototype or function signature or function declaration. This is called function definition, and this is called function calling. Whenever you are calling the function, whatever the arguments, these are called actual arguments, and these are called formal arguments. Okay. This is about this function definition. So function call like the same thing. This is your this is nothing but function prototype. Okay, this is your function prototype. Void function 1, it is return type is void, and function it is not taking any parameters, ended with semicolon. There are two functions, function prototype, int main and function 1. I'm calling the particular function 1 and I'm calling the function 2. This is function call, and whenever I call the function 1, then it has to go to the function definition. So function definition, function 1 and function body. Here you can write void function 1. Okay? So function 1 and without any semicolon. And this is your void function 2 and without any semicolon. This is function definition. So whenever you declare a function, part of the memory is reserved. So whenever you declare a function, automatically some memory will be reserved that particular function. When we define the function, it is stored in the memory block. Okay, ఈ పర్టికులర్ ఫంక్షన్ ఎప్పుడైతే డిక్లేర్ చేస్తారో ఒక మెమరీ అనేది ఎలకేట్ అయ్యి ఆ మెమరీలో ఈ ఫంక్షన్ 1 కి సంబంధించిన లాజిక్ అనేది ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, ఒక మెమరీ లొకేషన్ 1000 ఆర్ ఎనీథింగ్ లైక్ వేరియబుల్ కి ఎలా అయితే మెమరీ ఎలకేట్ అవుతుందో అలానే ఒక ఫంక్షన్ కి కూడా మెమరీ అనేది ఎలకేట్ అవుతుంది. వెనెవర్ యూ డిక్లేర్ ద ఫంక్షన్, then it has to store in the function 2. Okay, so let's suppose function stored in the address 0x1111. So always function address will be mentioned by using the hexadecimal number. When we call the function in the main program, compiler go to the memory location. So మీరు ఎప్పుడైతే డిక్లేర్ చేస్తారో ఫంక్షన్ 1 అనేది వెంటనే ఏమవుతుందంటే ఆ ఫంక్షన్ 1 కి ఒక మెమరీ అలొకేషన్ అనేది అవుతుంది. దట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ 100011 అండ్ ఇక్కడ ఫంక్షన్ 1 అని ఉంటుంది అండ్ దానికి సంబంధించిన లాజిక్ మొత్తం ఉంటుంది. సో ఎప్పుడైతే మీరు ఫంక్షన్ 1 అని కాల్ చేస్తారో మెయిన్ లో automatically it will go to the memory location and it will execute and it will again return back. Okay, clear? All of you clear, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the structure of the C++ program function, like IO stream, namespace, return type, function name, parameter list. This is your function prototype, and inside this void main you will call the particular function by using the function name and parameters also. And after this one you will write the function definition, that is nothing but return type, function name, parameter list and function definition. These are the three important statements whenever you are creating the function. So we will take one example program and we will conclude the class. Okay, so I am taking an example program. Yeah, is the screen is visible? Yeah,
Sir.
Yes, sir.
right. So I'm creating a function. Okay, function with a I am not using class also. I'm writing a simple program. Okay, I am writing a simple program without creating any function any class. Just it is a simple program in which this is the IO stream and this is the namespace, and I am creating 4 functions which are used to perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Okay, so this is the first function. So this is called function prototype. ఎందుకనంటే int add of int comma int అని మెన్షన్ చేశాను. So I didn't specify any function definition కాదు, just prototype. అంటే this is the name of the function is add, it will return integer value and it will take 2 parameters of integer type. Okay, so this is, and it is a subtraction and it will return integer value and it will take 2 parameters, that is integer type, both of integer type. Multiplication which will be taking both of integer type and it will return integer. Okay, so in the main section I will write integer a comma b, I will take 2 numbers, enter any 2 numbers. Okay, I will take enter any 2 numbers and I will enter those values by using cin. And first I will find out the summation by calling. What is this one? What is this one? Anyone tell?
Function call.
Call. Function calling or function call. Okay, so function ని కాల్ చేస్తే ఎక్కడికి వెళ్తుంది వెంటనే?
Function.
Function
Definition. So this is your function definition. Int add of int x comma int y. So return ఇదంతా కూడా అవసరం లేదు, జస్ట్ మీరు ఒకటే రాయొచ్చు, ఒకటే స్టేట్మెంట్ లైక్ return x plus y. Okay, x plus y. So I will write the definition like return x plus y and return, ఇక్కడ ఏం రాయొచ్చు నేను డైరెక్ట్ గా return subtraction got x minus y. Here I can write x minus y, and multiplication I will directly take return x into y. No need of all this. I will take return x into y. And division only I will write extra, like if the division y equal to 0, then I can write divide by 0 error. I cannot divide by 0. So that's why I am giving this one. Else then I can directly return this x divided by 1. So I will take x divided by 1. Okay, hope everyone is easy to understand, right? This one. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So this is just, I will save function dot cpp. So this is a simple program. This is the function prototype. Okay. So this is the function prototype. Like add is the function which will take two parameters, integer type, subtraction, like this, and calling the function. Okay. All these are calling the function. Okay. I'm calling the addition function, and this is calling subtraction function. This is calling multiplication function. This is calling division function. Whenever I am calling the function, then it will go to the definition. So add definition lo return x plus y, return x minus y, return x into y, and return x by y. Okay. These are the four values. So yeah, so I will save this program and I will try to execute this program. So compilation. So after doing this compilation, I will try to run this program. Okay, enter any two numbers, 12, 13. Okay, so what is the summation? 12 plus 13 is 25. 12 minus 13 is minus 1. Multiplication is 152. And 12 by 13 is what? Yeah,
0.
0. Okay, because 13 0 0 12 is the remainder, so that's why it is giving 0. Okay, it won't give point. If you want to get the floating point values, then I can use float. Okay, float data type. So then you will be getting the float values. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay then, thank you all.